What's up, guys? Silver here with part 4 of our fun romp through Halo Reach's LASO campaign playlist. This is Tip of the Spear, one of the easier missions, I would say. So we're going to start this up, and we're going to spawn in here. There's going to be a big battle to our front right area, so we're going to go to the left. Head to the left. There is a rock we're going to hop up on to skirt around the area by kind of taking cover on this cliffside. Just follow this path. It's pretty easy, and then we're going to pop our heads out right about here, and we're going to pick off the 2 fuel rod turrets with our DMR. So we're going to knock out one and then knock out the second one, and then that will allow the Pelican to come in and land and drop off the Warthog, and we could just peace out. So after we take out those 2 turrets, we're going to run this way, and we want to keep our eye on the turrets because there might be another grunt that hops in the turret, and you want to make sure you take those guys out as they hop in if they do. And then we're going to run back once the Pelican drops off the Warthog and get in it and immediately just drive to the next section. So we could totally bypass that whole area. We ain't got time for that. And now for this next section, we're just going to roll up. There's going to be 3 skirmishers that we're going to take out. We're going to hop out of our Warthog in a second and then just take them out with our DMR real quick. Easy headshots. And then we will focus on this Tyrant anti-air gun up ahead of us shortly thereafter. So we're taking out the skirmishers here. Our gunner on the back of this Warthog is helping us out as well. But his life will be short-lived because we're actually going to kill him, unfortunately enough for him. The reason we do that is because we want to get in the gun ourselves, and if we do that, the Marine will actually be like, hey, I have a good idea, let me drive you around, and potentially just off a cliff. Their AI is not good at driving, so we're just going to kill him so we could stay put. We want to stay right here and just lay into this giant turret from afar. We could actually just take it out from this position right here. We don't have to go up and inside it and take it out by blowing up the core inside. We could just blow it up right now. So this Tyrant anti-air gun in front of us here will take a lot of hits from this rocket hog, but don't worry, just keep laying into him. There's no specific spot you need to be hitting or anything. Just shoot at it in general. Where I'm shooting it is fine, and it will blow up eventually. Just keep going at it until you actually see it blow up. But you can see it's smoking now. But anyway, we'll talk about the Iron Skull real quick. The Iron Skull sets you back to the beginning of the mission if you die if you're playing solo. So it negates having any checkpoints basically, but there's an easy workaround. Whenever you die, just hit start immediately, and then save and quit, and then resume once you get back to the main menu, and you'll start up at your last checkpoint. So it's a really handy workaround. The only annoying part is obviously you need to deload and then load back into the level, so it takes a little bit of loading time, but it's a lot better than the alternative. So we can see here, it looks like it's about to blow up. So I'm going to drive up here. You don't need to drive up here. I'm just going to show you what we're doing by staying over here. Do not move forward. Do not move to the right. You can see there's a Phantom coming in the middle of the map right now, kind of behind the gun we just blew up at this point. And there's going to be some UNSC forces that move in, and you can see there's a Phantom that just came over the edge of the cliff over there, and he has nothing on his undercarriage. He's not bringing anything into the fight. Normally, if we moved up, he would have brought a Wraith in, but by staying back here, we've effectively stayed in a different load zone than that Phantom was in, and I guess when you're in the load zone that the Phantom's in, it will spawn the Wraith under it, but if you don't actually go into that load zone quite yet, the Phantom will spawn, but the Wraith will not. So we basically just despawn that Wraith. So now that we've despawned the Wraith, we're going to go up to this position and just wait right here. This will get the Pelican to come in and drop this bridge down, and we'll be able to cross the gap up ahead here. And we could go over here unencumbered by a Wraith, which is great because you will probably be able to drive past the Wraith, but you'll take a good amount of damage driving past him because his gunner will tear you up pretty well. So we're going to drive past here. You'll still take some hits probably from the Phantom or the Needler rifle wielding skirmishers over there. There's more skirmishers right here. You could either hop out and hide behind your Warthog and kind of headshot them and then move past them, or you could just move past them like I'm doing here. I used to hop out and just shoot them in the head real quick, but now I just move past them here. We're going to move forward, keep moving forward. Normally you go to the left and you cross the bridge. We're actually going to just keep going straight and kind of use our hog to hop up on the hood of and then just hop up on this rock. And we'll be able to take out these guys from the side. So we flank these grunts and jackals up ahead here. Makes it much more easy to take them out. And we're actually going to cross the bridge eventually, back the way we would have come normally if we played this game as it was designed. And there's actually some more DMR ammo over on the other side of the bridge, so we'll get that shortly. But I'm being pretty cautious here. You can see I'm kind of far away. You could move up considerably and still be pretty safe. You can see there's a lot of barricades down below in front of me where I could take cover. And these guys are actually distracted by all the Marines over there, so they're not really going to turn and look at me unless I get super close to them. So we could easily pick them off, and I'll just stay far away. Who cares? Why move up? Why move up if you don't need to? If you could land these shots, just land them. And now they're all dead, so we're going to move forward like we mentioned. I'm going to cross the bridge opposite the way the bridge was intended to be crossed. and just go grab some more DMR ammo that's on the other side here real quick. Not that I really need it or use it. There it is right there. And I'm just looking around for anything that may have been dropped by my friendlies. And this is a good way to get your shield to maximum. You could see that I had a plasma pistol, and what I did was I overcharged plasma pistol the ground where my feet were, so the splash damage carried over onto my shielding, took it down enough, and took my health down enough that I could actually grab the health pack, because if you have full health, you can't grab a health pack. So brought my health down a little bit so I could get that health pack and get my shield and health all the way back up to 100%. So round the corner, kill those 2 skirmishers with a headshot, and then we're going to hop onto this beam I just zoomed in on, and then we're going to hop onto this beam towards the right, and then we're going to hop up onto the, whatever this is, the terrain, the earth, the rocky precipice over here, the rocky cliff. And so we're going to hop under, or hop over that pipe, go under the next pipe, and then we're just going to wrap around to the right and make our way this way. There's some health on the ground if you need it, and we're going to make our way up. We've despawned all the enemies in this area, except for these 2 jackals spawned for whatever reason. But you can just throw a couple nades at them and run past them if you want. I decided to throw a couple nades and try to actually fight them. Looks like that was not the way to go. Probably should have just ran past them. Do as I say, not as I do. And we're going to just make our way to the hole in the ground in this building. I guess some kind of explosion occurred or something happened. There was some kind of impact. So we're going to grab the plasma launcher and grab some health if you need it. Again, the plasma launcher will come in handy against the hunters and any other big things that may come our way. And we're going to grab the Revenant right here, and we're going to use this to speed down to the next section where we have to take out another anti-air gun. And there's going to be a handful of enemies in the cavern here that we kind of traverse through, but you can just totally go past them. Don't even worry about it. I try to always splatter that elite, but there's no reason to try to do that, except for it's fun. It's just fun. So we get down here, and we're going to kill the jackals down here to the right, and we're going to also hop into the warthog that's on the left side. It's kind of like on a bridge that looks like you can't really get to it, but you can get to it pretty easily. You just hop up onto the pillar here, hop to the second pillar, and then hop over to the bridge here and grab that DMR ammo that's on the ground, hop into the warthog here, and turn to face the anti-air gun and start tearing into them. It'll take less time than the rocket launcher hog did, so that's good news. But it gives us a little time to talk about some other things. What else is there to talk about? The blind skull is not great. No one likes it. But there's an easy way to tell what gun you have out, which is to hold the back button if you're playing on Xbox, and that will actually pull up a diagram of your weapon and your armor ability that you currently have. So it'll show you what weapon you have out in your hands, and then you just switch weapons and hold back again, and it'll show you the other weapon that you have. So very useful. You could see kind of a diagram of the weapon I have pop up from time to time on my screen, and that's what's happening there. So we are going to make our way. I forgot that I wanted to bring the Revenant down here. Don't park the Revenant up there. I don't know why I did that. I've never done this before. I'm an idiot. So obviously I would drive my Revenant over here, but it's not available to me right now, so I'm going to just walk over here. I'm going to go actually get the Revenant shortly after this, and we're just going to start tearing into these guys with our DMR, because a lot of these guys could just be finished off with a headshot, all these jackals and skirmishers, especially since they are distracted by a bunch of Marines on the right. So we're going to take advantage of that while we can and just tear into these guys. And then once we need to get some more firepower, I'm going to head back and get that Revenant, because there are 2 hunters up here. There are 2 wraiths that spawn up here as well, but most of the time they'll just back up, fall off the cliff, and kill themselves. So we don't really have to worry about or plan for them too much. If they do survive, you could always grab the grenade launcher once you've thinned out most of the enemies and take off the gunner first, because you don't want him to tear you up while you approach it. But there's a grenade launcher over towards a downed falcon on the opposite side of the map right now, and it's full of grenade launcher, and you could use the overcharge stunning capability to stun the vehicle, the Wraith, which is what we're talking about, and kind of approach it and then board it and beat the crap out of it and take care of it that way. So that'll be a very effective strategy against those once you clear out enough of the enemies where you're not going to be at risk of getting shot at from those guys. But we will shortly show you the location of that downed falcon. But you can see I've whipped out the plasma launcher and I'm lighting up these hunters. That's basically why I pick up the plasma launcher, solely for these hunters, because they have a lot of HP in this game on LASO. So we're basically just lowering their HP. You might be able to kill one of them with all the plasma launcher, but you're going to run out before you kill both of them. So we are going to finish them off with a Revenant. And I think right about now, I might be heading back to get that Revenant. So I'm going to cut ahead, because I actually do get the Revenant. It takes a little bit of time, though. I got to think about how I'm going to get up there. I get up there, though. We'll see you on the other side of this cut. Oh, hey, you're back. Welcome. I have the Revenant. Basically, I just grabbed the Warthog off the bridge there, and I kind of drove it up against the wall and was able to just get enough height to get myself to be able to jump up on top and get that Revenant back. But just drive it down in the first place. You don't even have to worry about it. Anyway, we're going over here. There's only a couple enemies left that aren't hunters. We just splattered that elite guy. You want to be aware that the hunters can still melee you, even though you're in a vehicle. They will still just swipe you and possibly kill you in one hit. It's happened to me before. That guy took a big meaty swipe at me and did not kill me, fortunately, but I'm sure my health is not, very thankful for this guy or my, decision to drive up there right next to him. But we're going to hide behind these rocks and basically just poke our heads out and fire at them. Well, I'm trying to shove them off the cliff, which is not a good idea because, again, they could just melee you. But there's two left here, two hunters, and we want to kind of just strafe them. And when you're strafing them, eventually you're going to have to turn around or start going the other way. So you can see I'm going to the left here, and I want to make sure that I stop strafing when there's something in between me and the hunter, because the hunters will shoot at you while you're strafing, but they will always miss. But when you change directions, that's when they're going to hit you. So you can see I stopped now. I'm behind a rock, and now I'm going to strafe over here, and I'll stop strafing when I'm behind this rock, and I'll go back the other way. So always make sure there's something between you and the hunter when you stop going one way and change directions, because they will always land that hit when you're changing directions. That's when they decide to fire every time, of course. But we've taken out all the hunters. All the enemies in this area are dead, except for, I should mention, the drones. The drones actually don't come out and bother you if you don't go near them. The drones are inside the turret that we took out, and they're still alive. So if you go near it, even though you've blown up the turret, they will spawn and start attacking you. So don't go near that turret, even though it's totally wrecked and destroyed now. Here's the Falcon I was mentioning, where there's a grenade launcher right next to it. In case those wraiths do spawn in and don't kill themselves, you could use that grenade launcher to stun the wraith and approach it and just hijack it / beat it up and destroy it. There's some needler rifle ammo in that crate I was just at, along with that dome shield, which I don't use that dome shield. And we're just going to make our way over here. It doesn't matter what weapons you're picking up at this point, because you're going to spawn in with a different set of weapons once you set foot on the ground again. But you do want to make sure you grab one of those health packs. There's one over by the Falcon that I just picked up, because this part is annoying and could take a few tries. I am going to die here, so it's going to phase in a little bit. I'll cut ahead to my successful run. I think I died once, maybe twice here, but you'll be able to get through this pretty successfully if you follow this pattern of shooting that I do. So we're going to come around this bend here, and we're going to start shooting at the opposite side of the bridge. That's where there's a handful of enemies. And then once we're past that section, we're going to start shooting behind this tree, because we can't quite shoot directly at these two turrets yet, but we could shoot behind them, and they'll still get damage from splash damage. So keep firing. There's no reason you should stop firing at this segment. We want to shoot over the building at this point, because there are enemies on the other side of it, so hopefully we'll get some damage on them before we could even see them. And then we want to prioritize the Wraith along with any turrets that we see, followed by any elites that may be on the ground as well, because they carry some pretty heavy weapons. There's some with concussion rifles. It's not a pretty scene, so just try to blast those guys. You could ideally blast them off the cliff, and then you won't even have to waste time killing them as much. But then there's one final turret up ahead here, so kill that, and then clean up all the other enemies like the jackals and grunts in the area, and we are on our way to the cutscene that will bring us to the Spire section, and I'm going to cut ahead to that to save a little bit of time. Here we are, grab a health pack, and then we're going to make our way up to the right side of this area, and we're going to totally ignore all of the enemies for the most part. There might be a grunt in your way, so you might want to take him out, and there's also a, a skirmisher with a focus rifle, so sometimes I take him out. Most of the time I just leave him. I don't know why I decided to take him out this time, but we're going to move up in this direction, just kind of use these pipes as cover, and we're going to make our way up here. Sometimes, again, like I mentioned, there's a grunt kind of on this path that I just took, but sometimes there's not, which occurred this time. Usually he is there, though, so watch out for him. Then we're going to move up ahead here to this spade, hop in, and we're going to drive straight to the door on this path. So we can see the pathway takes us right to this open door here, so hop out and get into this doorway. Then hop into this lift, and we're going to head up straight to the top of the spire. And we're actually going to use our sprint to sprint past all of the enemies. They'll become startled at the top here, and then we're going to just assassinate the elite that's up here really easily. So we're just going to turn to the left here and hug the wall, and we're going to run up behind the elite here and backsmack him before he has a chance to do anything. Then all of the grunts will just be just totally surprised by how brazenly you just ran up behind the elite and just assassinated them. They won't know what to do. You could just easily kill them while they're panicking. and then you just hit that control console to finish the mission. That was part 4, Tip of the Spear. Join me next time for part 5, Long Night of Solace. Thanks for watching, guys. If you found that video helpful, be sure to click on the scorpion icon to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. You could also check out some related guides by clicking on the videos on screen, and you can find links in the description for other social media links of mine. Stay tuned for more Halo guides, and I'll see you in the next one.